Good morning, dear friend. Before you let today tell you what to expect, remember this. Not every morning has to carry yesterday's disappointment. Maybe you woke up today already thinking about the message you have not received, the decision someone still has not made, the bill sitting on the counter, the family situation that keeps weighing on your heart, or that prayer you have whispered so many times that you are beginning to wonder what else there is to say. I understand how waiting can quietly change the way we approach a new day. After enough disappointments, we sometimes protect ourselves by expecting less. We tell ourselves not to get our hopes up. We prepare for another closed door before we even reach it. But this Saturday morning, August 22nd, I want to invite you into something different. Before the noise begins, before you check every notification, before your mind runs through everything that could go wrong, remember the goodness of God. Psalm 27 says to wait for the Lord with courage and strength. Waiting does not mean nothing is happening. Silence does not mean God has forgotten your name. A delay does not mean your prayer has been ignored. You may not know what this day will bring, and neither do I. Faith does not require us to pretend we know every outcome. It simply gives us somewhere steady to place our hearts when the outcome is still uncertain. So today, instead of waking up expecting another disappointment, let hope have some room to breathe. God sees the concern you have carried quietly. He knows about the financial pressure. He knows about the conversation you are nervous to have. He knows about your family, your work, your future, and the answer you have been waiting for. You are not carrying those concerns into this morning unseen. God is with you. His mercy is already here. His grace is already enough for this moment, and His goodness is not limited by what happened yesterday. So, Father, as we begin this new day, turn our attention away from fear and toward you. When our minds expect the worst, remind us of your faithfulness. When uncertainty becomes heavy, give us peace for the next step. We choose to trust you. We choose to hope in you. We choose to remember your goodness. We may not see the whole road ahead, but we know who walks with us. And this morning, that is enough to lift our hearts and begin again. And maybe that is exactly where your heart needs to stay for a moment, because waiting can wear you down in ways other people never notice. You can smile, go to work, answer messages, make breakfast, take care of everyone around you, and still carry one quiet question inside. God, did you hear me? Maybe you have prayed about the same financial need for months. Maybe you are waiting for a job opportunity, a change in your family, an important decision, a restored relationship, or simply some clear direction about what comes next. There are prayers we speak out loud, and there are prayers so personal that sometimes all we can do is sit quietly before God and trust that He understands. He does. Your waiting is not proof that God has forgotten you. Your unanswered question is not proof that He has turned away. And a closed door today does not mean every door will remain closed tomorrow. This is why morning prayers to start your day can become such a meaningful place of surrender, because before we carry uncertainty into every conversation and every decision, we can place it back into the hands of the one who sees what we cannot see. God sees you. He sees the pressure you do not talk about. He understands the disappointment behind that brave face. He knows how tiring it can be to hope again after something did not work out the way you prayed. So do not force yourself to pretend that waiting is easy. Bring the real feeling to Him. Bring the frustration. Bring the questions. Bring the fear that you might be disappointed again. Father, you know every prayer represented here. You know the phone call someone is hoping to receive, the opportunity someone needs, the family concern keeping someone awake, and the private request that has been carried for far too long. Remind us that your silence is not absence. Remind us that your timing is not carelessness. Remind us that even when we cannot trace what you are doing, we can still trust your heart. I choose to believe you hear me. I choose to believe you see me. I choose to believe my life is still held in your faithful hands. And dear friend, if that is your prayer today, make this a small act of faith. Write these words in the comments. God has not forgotten me. Not because a comment controls what happens next, but because sometimes our hearts need to hear our own faith spoken clearly. God has not forgotten me. God has not abandoned me. God is still with me in the waiting, and even before the answer arrives, I can rest knowing that my prayer has been heard. And while you are waiting, there is something powerful about remembering. Fear has a way of making the present moment feel like the whole story. One difficult season can convince you that nothing will change. One disappointment can make you forget the doors that opened before, the needs that were met, and the moments when help arrived in ways you could never have planned. But think about your own life for a moment. You have been through days when you wondered how you would make it through emotionally, and yet here you are. There were mornings when you did not know how everything would work out. Somehow, you received enough strength for that day. There were times when you worried about money, family, work, or your future. And although every answer may not have come the way you wanted, God gave you grace to keep moving. That matters. Psalm 77 reminds us to remember the works of the Lord and consider what He has done. Sometimes faith grows when we stop staring only at what has not happened yet and remember what God has already carried us through. Father, help us remember. When our minds become crowded with uncertainty, bring your faithfulness back to our attention. Remind us of the prayers you answered quietly. Remind us of the people you placed in our path at exactly the right time. Remind us of the unexpected provision, the wisdom that came when we needed it, the peace that arrived before the circumstances changed. Some of your goodness was obvious. Some of it we probably did not recognize until much later. But you were there. You carried us then. You sustained us then. You gave us strength then. You were faithful then, and you are still faithful now. So when the heart says, "What if nothing changes?" let memory answer, "God has brought me through before." When fear says, "What if there is no way forward?" remind us that we have faced uncertainty before and your presence did not leave us. We do not need to manufacture confidence. We can build it on what we already know about you. You are merciful. You are patient. You are near. You are faithful. And even while we wait for what comes next, we can breathe a little easier because the God who held us yesterday has not changed today. And because you have been faithful before, Father, I can finally loosen my grip on the things I have been trying so hard to control. I admit that surrender is not always easy. Sometimes I say that I trust you, but a few minutes later, my mind is already working through every possible outcome again. I replay conversations. I check for updates. I wonder whether I should do more, say more, push harder, or somehow make the answer happen myself. It is exhausting. So right here, I bring you what I cannot settle on my own. I place every unanswered prayer in your hands. I place the waiting there too. I give you the decision I cannot control, the opportunity I cannot force open, the financial concern I cannot solve overnight, the family situation I cannot fix by worrying about it, and the future I cannot predict. You already know every detail. Nothing about my life has caught you by surprise. Lord, I release the timing. I release the outcome. I release my need to know exactly how everything will work. I release the fear that if I stop worrying, something will somehow fall apart. Teach my heart that surrender is not giving up. It is choosing where to place the weight, and I choose to place it with you. Let these peaceful prayers become more than comforting words passing through my mind. Let them become a real decision to trust you with what happens next. When I feel tempted to pick the burden back up, remind me that I already gave it to you. When my thoughts begin racing ahead into tomorrow, bring me gently back to the grace you have provided for today. I do not need tomorrow's answers this morning. I need your presence now. I need enough wisdom for the next decision, enough strength for the next responsibility, enough peace for the next hour. You see me. You know what I have carried. You understand why this matters so much to me. And still, you invite me to rest my heart in you. So I surrender the prayer I have repeated 100 times. I surrender the answer I hoped would have arrived by now. I surrender the way I thought things were supposed to happen. Father, take what I cannot carry well, hold what I cannot control. Lead me where I cannot see clearly. I trust your timing. I trust your wisdom. I trust your goodness. I trust you with the answer, and I trust you in the silence before the answer comes. My circumstances may not have changed in this moment, but something inside me can change. I do not have to carry everything at once. I can breathe. I can release it. I can rest, knowing that what I have placed in your hands is no longer mine to hold alone. And now, Father, as I leave these burdens in your hands, I ask for something I cannot manufacture on my own. Let your favor go before me. Go into the conversations I have not had yet. Go into the decisions waiting for me. Go into my workplace, my home, my finances, my relationships, and every ordinary place my feet will take me. There are situations where effort alone is not enough. I can prepare. I can work hard. I can show up with integrity. I can make the phone call, send the application, have the difficult conversation, and do what is mine to do. But there are outcomes I cannot control. There are hearts I cannot change. There are opportunities I cannot create by force. Lord, let your favor accomplish what my strength cannot. Give me wisdom with the people I meet. Give me patience when something takes longer than I hoped. Give me the right words when a conversation matters. Give me discernment when an opportunity looks good on the surface but may not be right for me. And when the right opportunity comes, give me courage to recognize it and walk forward without being ruled by fear. Father, let your favor rest over my family. Bring peace into our conversations and understanding where there has been tension. Let your grace surround the work of my hands. Provide what is needed, not only financially, but emotionally and spiritually too. You know the needs I have not told anyone about. You know where I feel stretched thin. You know the places where I have done everything I know to do and still need help beyond myself. God sees you, dear friend. He sees the effort no one applauds and the responsibilities you quietly carry. You do not have to prove your worth to earn His attention. His grace meets you here. So, Lord, go before us. Prepare what needs to be prepared. Arrange what we could never arrange ourselves. Protect us from rushing into the wrong thing simply because we are tired of waiting. Lead us toward what is good, honest, wise, and aligned with your will. I do not ask for favor so I can avoid every difficulty. I ask for favor so I can walk through this day knowing you are with me. Go before me, walk beside me, give me wisdom, give me peace. And wherever my own ability reaches its limit, remind me that your grace has not reached its limit at all. And as your favor goes before me, Father, teach me not to confuse every open door with your direction. I have learned that sometimes the thing I want most is not the thing I need most. Sometimes I become so tired of waiting that almost any opportunity feels like an answer. So give me patience, give me discernment. Open the doors that belong in my life, and give me peace when you close the ones that do not. If there is an opportunity that will draw me closer to your purpose, make the path clear. If there is a relationship, decision, job, conversation, or commitment that will pull me away from what is healthy and right, help me recognize it before I become attached to it. I do not want to chase something simply because it looks promising. I want what you know is good for me. Lord, lead me toward the right people. Put wise voices around me. Guide me toward the right conversations at the right time. When I need to speak, give me courage. When I need to listen, quiet my need to have an immediate answer. When I need to wait, keep me from interpreting patience as failure. And when it is finally time to move, do not let yesterday's disappointment make me afraid of today's opportunity. You know how easy it is to second-guess everything after a season of closed doors. We start wondering whether we missed our chance, whether we are too late, whether everyone else is moving forward while we are standing still. But you are not measuring our lives against someone else's timeline. You know where we are, you know what we need, you know what we are ready for, and what still needs time. There is relief in that. I do not have to force my way into places you never asked me to enter. I do not have to beg for what you know would eventually steal my peace. So open what is from you, close what is not from you. Redirect me when I am heading towards something that only looks right from a distance. Lead me toward the opportunity that fits your wisdom, the connection that carries honesty, the decision that brings peace, and the path where I can walk with a clear heart. Father, I trust you with the doors. I trust you with the timing. I trust you with what stays and what leaves. And if the next step is still not visible, help me remain faithful where I am. You are not confused about my future. You are not late. You are guiding me, even here. And if you are guiding me even here, Father, then I do not want fear to decide what I expect from this day. I know how disappointment can train the heart to brace for more disappointment. After enough unanswered questions, it can feel safer to expect nothing. We tell ourselves we are just being realistic, but sometimes we are simply afraid to hope again. We see an unfamiliar phone number and immediately imagine bad news. We notice a delay and assume something has gone wrong. We walk into a meeting already preparing ourselves for rejection. That kind of worry is tiring, Lord. It steals peace before anything has even happened. So change the direction of my thoughts. I will not allow yesterday's disappointment to write today's expectation. I will not let one closed door convince me that you have stopped leading me. I will not treat a season of waiting as evidence that nothing good can change. This is where daily faith becomes real, not when everything is obvious, but when I still have questions and choose to trust your goodness anyway. Father, when fear whispers that another disappointment is coming, remind me of your faithfulness. When my mind begins creating outcomes that have not happened, bring me back to what is true right now. You are here. You see me. You know what I need. You are not careless with my life. I do not need to predict every conversation before it happens. I do not need to prepare emotionally for 10 problems that may never come. I can receive this moment as it is and trust you with the next one. I choose hope. I choose faith. I choose peace. I choose to expect your goodness without demanding that it arrive in the exact form I imagined. Maybe your goodness will look like an answer. Maybe it will look like a new direction. Maybe it will be unexpected provision, a helpful conversation, a clearer mind, or simply enough strength to keep going. However you choose to meet me, keep my heart open. I am done rehearsing bad news that has not arrived. I am done allowing fear to speak louder than your faithfulness. My circumstances may still be uncertain, but my heart does not have to live in constant alarm. You are with me in what I know and in what I do not know. So I will move forward with a quieter heart, an open hand, and a hopeful spirit, trusting that your goodness can meet me in ways I have not yet seen. And with that hopeful spirit, Father, I bring the deepest requests of my heart before you. You already know them. Some have been spoken every morning. Some have been whispered late at night when no one else could hear. Some are difficult to explain because they carry years of waiting, disappointment, and questions. Still, I bring them to you again, not with demands, but with trust. Lord, where there has been confusion, bring clarity. Where there has been lack, provide what is truly needed. Where someone has been waiting for a job opportunity, guide them toward the right place and give them favor with the right people. Where a family is carrying financial pressure, provide wisdom, steady provision, and a way forward. Where a relationship needs restoration, soften hearts and make room for honest conversation, forgiveness, and peace. Where someone is waiting for an important decision or a phone call that could change the direction of their life, calm their heart while they wait. Father, answer according to your wisdom and your perfect will. Open the doors that should open. Bring the connections that should come. Remove confusion from decisions that have felt impossible to make. Make a way where I cannot yet see a way. Bring clarity where uncertainty has lingered. Bring provision where resources have been stretched thin. Bring peace where waiting has become exhausting. Bring encouragement to the person who feels forgotten. And if there is good news on the road ahead, prepare my heart to receive it with gratitude rather than pride. I know that blessing does not always arrive the way I picture it. Sometimes the answer is yes. Sometimes it is wait. Sometimes your mercy redirects me towards something I never considered. So keep me open to your way, not only mine. But Lord, I am asking boldly today. Let prayers that have been carried for a long time begin to find their answer according to your will. Let your favor be with those waiting for someone to consider their application, their request, or their next opportunity. Let opportunities appear where there seemed to be none. Let needed conversations finally happen. Let weary hearts receive fresh encouragement. Let unexpected kindness remind someone that you still see them. You know every person praying with me right now. You know exactly what would make them quietly say, "Thank you, God, you heard me." Meet them there. Not because we have earned it, not because we can control the outcome with our words, but because your grace is generous and your wisdom is trustworthy. I believe you are working. I believe you are guiding. I believe you are able to surprise us with goodness. And while the answer is still unfolding, keep our hearts steady enough to recognize your hand when it comes. And as we come to the end of this powerful morning prayer, let the words you declared earlier settle deeply into your heart. God has not forgotten me. Carry that truth with you when you step away from this quiet moment. Carry it into your kitchen, your car, your workplace, your conversations, and the ordinary responsibilities waiting for you. God has not forgotten you. You do not need to spend the rest of this day searching anxiously for signs that something is about to happen. You can simply walk with Him. If good news comes, receive it with gratitude. If an answer takes longer, keep trusting. If a door opens, ask for wisdom before you walk through it. And if a door closes, remember that God's goodness is not measured by one outcome. Father, thank you for hearing every prayer spoken here. Thank you for the person who came carrying uncertainty and is leaving with a little more peace. Bless their home, bless their family, bless the work of their hands. Give them wisdom in every decision, patience in every delay, and courage for every new opportunity. Let your presence remain near when the day becomes busy and the mind becomes distracted. May your grace meet them in unexpected places, and may they recognize even the smallest reminders of your faithfulness. I choose to trust you. I choose to follow you. I choose to rest in you. I choose to walk forward with hope. And dear friend, if these prayers have become a meaningful part of your mornings, you can support this channel in whatever way feels right for you. A simple like helps more people find this place of prayer, and subscribing allows us to keep meeting here day after day. If you feel led and are able to give a gift to support the people who faithfully prepare these videos, your generosity is received with sincere gratitude. There is never any pressure. Your presence here matters, and praying together is already something precious. Father, bless every person listening, including those who are giving, those who cannot give, those celebrating an answer, and those still waiting. Let peace guard their hearts. Let wisdom guide their steps. Let hope remain alive within them, and as they move into the hours ahead, may they remember that they do not walk alone. Perhaps they cannot see what is around the next corner yet, but they can keep going with open hands and a trusting heart, knowing that you are already there. In Jesus' name, amen.